With the spring coming to an end, I wanted to give you guys an update on how the nature preserve is turning out. The first 6 months of the year have been very busy for us. We've been planting new plants every single week. So we've been taking advantage of this native nursery that is on our way to the land. I love coming here because I get to see in real time what my land could potentially be like if I get the water down packed and I bring in the biodiversity. I'm grateful that I've been able to find some really great native plants that have adapted to our environment rather quickly, partially because of these very in-depth description cards that the nursery has, which is something that I kind of want to do on our plot. Let me know if that is something that you're interested in seeing. These are a couple of plants that caught my eye because of the flowers. My kids and my wife have a lot of say on what goes on the land because I love to pick out flowers and plants that attract their eye. I've planted everything from trees to shrubs, wildflowers, grasses, even cactuses and agaves and different succulents. And let me tell you, they are all thriving. Besides a couple of casualties due to some of the ants, everything loves the environment. It loves the, altitude, the amount of wind and water it's getting. It's becoming perfectly acclimated. And so I've had lots of success, which I'm going to show you later on in the video. On this shopping run, I took home 6 plants, some yucca, some grasses, some trees, and some buckwheat, which is doing really well. I also got to come home with some seeds from the poppies that we are actually already growing on the land. Because these are already so established, I decided to bring some seeds to the land and see what they do. They are very vigorous growers. They spread out very quickly. Some people consider it a weed, but I consider it a blessing. Their flowers are gorgeous as well. They're very large. They're white with a very vibrant yellow center, and the pollinators absolutely love them. When we purchased this land in 2024, we spent most of the year just observing. We did try to plant some things, but because of the timing and not really understanding the land, it led to a 99% loss of plants. We lost pretty much all of the money, all of the hundreds of dollars that we spent. And so 2025, I know that I needed to utilize all of this knowledge and studying and really put it to the test. So we started digging plenty of earthworks. We started to prioritize the water first. And we started to prioritize the smaller plants and the things that really go unseen, like the flowers, the wildflowers, and the grasses. And man, as you can see with all of these clips, we are having so much success. We have totaled now 8 trees, 7 flowering bushes or shrubs, 2 dozen agaves, 2 prickly pear cactus or nopal, about a dozen maize plants from red, yellow, blue corn, all different types, dozens and dozens of wildflowers that I can't keep track of, and hundreds of grass seeds that germinated and are now going to seed. And my 2 metrics of success for this project, one was if the plants are going to seed, and 2 was if the wildlife was coming around and I'm seeing droppings and I'm seeing carcasses and I'm just seeing more of their presence. That's how I know what I'm doing is making a bigger impact on the environment as a whole. So when you see me out here in the middle of the night every single week, coming out to plant different trees or watering everything by hand, just know that it's the passion that fuels me. And I want to really serve as an inspiration for you guys to take a project like this into your own hands, even if it's in your backyard. The earth is crying for it and we need to help her. As you can see, with just going once a week, I'm having so much success. So many of these plants are going to flower and going to seed, and eventually, with just a little more love, can exist on their own. I want to remind you guys that I am not building a garden, a botanical garden, something to just observe. This is going to be a forest. And so I consider all of the factors, including the animals that are present, as being a part of the bigger picture. In fact, the animals, I know and believe that they are going to be the ones that are keeping this forest alive and growing, whether it be through the pollination they do, or the spreading of the seeds after they eat, or the digging of the tunnels and the aerating of the soil.
Here is our biggest corn, and it seems to be tapping into some nutrients that everybody else isn't tapping into. Because as you can see at the base, there are two babies that are right next to it. So this one is doing really healthy, and it is drinking up all of the compost tea that we give every single one of our plants, and that is made at home.
One of my favorite things about these desert plants is that they don't really require lots of water, and yet they can still thrive. As you can see here, one of our mallow bushes is just, flourishing. It looks beautiful. There's so many flowers. You will not find these flowers out on these lands. However, they are native to the area. As you can see here, this mallow actually already went to seed. That's what you're looking at, a seed head. And I know many of these flowers are going to go to seed as well. And this is what success looks like. If we can get these spreading, the landscape is going to look entirely different. We aren't just bringing color to the desert, we are also bringing back the native animals. And that is very important to me. It is one of the main things that this project is about. Giving a space and a place for these animals to live, eat, coexist. And they have thanked us with their presence, but also with preserving of our important plants, our wildflowers, our trees, all of them are untouched by these herbivores, and probably because I do leave them some of our food scraps, some of the vegetables that I grow from home. And so there is this partnership, and I like to say this truce between me and the herbivores, who would have usually eaten up all the corn or eaten up the California poppies and the chia seeds that we have. And it is for their benefit, it is for the project's benefit, and everybody wins in the end. Thank you guys for your patience and your support. And although the videos have been delayed, the work has not stopped. And if you want to catch up to this point, then go ahead and hit the playlist and watch every episode before then.